Have a great Thanksgiving.
Have a great Thanksgiving.
Time with family and
have a great time with family.
That's a thing that pretty much actually happened. We'll get to all.
Let's get to this.
Let's talk man crates.
Man crates! Yes, my man crates are my pants. I love to talk about my man crates. You may love to suck my man crates. Oh yeah, I love to suck my man crates.
I said that no real man likes whiskey. Everybody really likes strawberry daiquiris, and then I received the man crate.
There's all my man crates, my man crates, the man crate, the man crate,
the Grillmaster crate,
the Grillmaster crate, the Grillmaster crate, the different size of crates, small crates, big crates, woo!
With an actual crowbar, and then you have
an actual crowbar
in front of everyone. See, I didn't want to humiliate myself, so instead I just let my children try to do it for like half an hour, and then when I did it...
I let my children do it for half an hour.
Man, listeners of this show, buy one gift and you will get the second 25%.
We're trying to get the second gift with mancrates.com.
The offer is only for the holidays. Buy one gift, get the second 25% off.
Get the second one, second, mancrates.com.
Mancrates.com/Ben.
Mancrates.com/Ben.
Let's talk about the news, because a lot of stuff happens.
Let's talk about the news. Let's talk about the news.
You can enjoy Disneyland. You can
enjoy Disneyland.
So, here is the latest.
Here is the latest.
Immigrants tried to storm the border.
They tried to storm the border.
Not, in fact, try to storm the border in this migrant caravan. Thousands of people trying to storm the border. In fact, it was not thousands of people. It was a couple of hundred people. I think one person actually made it across the border and then was immediately chased back across the border. But
chase across the border
because some of these people were throwing rocks at Border Patrol agents. And here is what it sounded like when hundreds of people tried to storm the border between Tijuana and the United States.
Tijuana and the United States. This is what it was in Tijuana.
So breaking through a fence, running.
Breaking through a fence and running and running and running and running and running and running.
Showed up.
Border Patrol showed up.
You can see that some of them are flying the flag of Honduras. Alexandra Ocasio.
The Dolores Cortez.
All for wisdom, she said.
All for wisdom, said.
Like when the Jews were
tried to kill Nazi Germany.
They didn't arrive
in Staten Island. With Nazi flag.
Political asylum needs.
And political asylum needs.
Also, the vast not coming because of political violence. Necessity, which is a fine reason to try and enter another country, but you have to do so legally. You don't get.
That's why you have to do so legally.
There's also video of people who are pushing and trying to push through the fence while shouting, "Yes, we can." Here they were at one of the borders.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
And they actually tried to force open the fence. So you can see people there standing right outside the fence.
Outside the fence.
And then it got even worse. There were some folks who were actually physically throwing rocks at members of Border Patrol.
Border Patrol!
If you can't see it, I will describe it for you. You can see
Border Patrol! If you can't see it, Border Patrol!
It's now on the front page of every newspaper of Border Patrol having fired some tear gas near the crowd. Nobody apparently. So you can see, here's a guy picking up stones, turning around at Border Patrol. You can see them trying to fling the stones over the fence at Border Patrol. Now, once you do that, Border Patrol agents have every right to defend themselves as they see the need. Are these people we want to be citizens of the United States? Are these people we want to enter the United States? The answer, of course, is no. If you are throwing rocks at the members of our Border Patrol, well, presumably attempting to enter the country legally, we do not want you here in the United States. Now, what's really
we do not want you here. Get the hell out of here.
Or if it did happen,
let's get the fuck out of here.
And so terrible that tear gas was deployed.
Tear gas was deployed, man. How dare we use tear gas? How dare we?
Over at CNN, right? His job to monitor media bias, but he is a good example of it himself. Brian Stelter
is a stupid MFer from CNN.
Overwhelmed. That is
the cameras need to be on the CNN compound to get Stelter to spaz.
The border between France and Germany. was several hundred miles long, and when the Germans moved through Belgium in 1939, that was actually not. Well, let's see. When did they move through Belgium? Yeah, 1939. When they actually moved in 1940. When they moved through Belgium in 1940.
1940, 1939. What is it, Ben? 1940. Look it up, because Ben might have his back straight.
It amounts to a border breach. Right, and if people just rush through that, then that would be overwhelming.
Just rush through that, rush that, woo, rush,
you didn't have people
push, rush.
It would not be stopped. Okay, Simone Sanders, another commentator on CNN, she said, "Reminder: these are asylum seekers. United States.
Reminder: these are asylum seekers." Yeah.
Tweeted: U.S. Border Patrol has just launched tear gas into Mexico.
He's launched tear gas into Mexico.
Caravan. Okay, so here is the question: why were the parents?
Tears running down my face and the gas is going up my ass.
If people want to apply for asylum, all they have to do is walk to the Border Patrol station and ask for asylum papers. Instead, people were trying to breach the border, throwing rocks at folks, and then...
They're throwing rocks at the folks. I got a big rock, and my rock is bigger than your rock.
President Obama, in 2013, had a very...
President Obama did exactly the same in 2013. Let's go back till we watch the video.
It turns out that tear gas was fired.
Tear gas was fired as well. Let's go back to the beautiful tear gas footage.
That confirms what President Trump has been saying for a long time, which is that the aiding and abetting of this migrant caravan...
He's aiding and abetting people, yeah.
Try to break through the border.
Trying to break through the border.
No. Is it a massive crisis where thousands of people are breaking through the border and they're going to invade the country? No. Is it a problem? Yes, of course.
Yes, of course there is a problem. How can you be doing this?
Brian Schatz, who's the senator...
Brian Schatz.
Who gave the order?
Who gave the order to go into the border? Who gave the order?
And suddenly you're going to see President Trump going, "You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall." So he's the senator from Hawaii, sorry. And he is an idiot. Who gave the order?
Hawaii! You go,
without killing people? I mean, probably like the normal rules.
You representing a bunch of people that I find stupid.
Again, I do find it ironic and weird.
You know, it's kind of sad you guys stupid.
At the deployment of like on-tear gas canister.
Person like that from Hawaii.
They didn't care when Obama did it? I mean, hell, they didn't care when Obama was literally droning American citizens.
They didn't care when Obama did it. They just cared when they did it because that's all they care about.
Maybe who are terrorists, maybe, although that's legally dicey. But it is amazing.
That's legally dicey, says Ben Shapiro.
People attacking American troops when it's a Republican who's president again. Now, what's hilarious about all of this is that there are some Democrats who are beginning to realize that maybe this isn't the best election pitch. Maybe the best election pitch for 2020 isn't, we don't care about the border, let
everything is about an election pitch, yeah.
So over the weekend, Hillary Clinton admitted that Europe has badly mishandled the migration crisis from the Middle East. Here's what she had to say about Europe's dealing with its own borders and the migrant crisis that has...
Europe been dealing with its own borders, man.
Needs to get a handle on migration.
He'll get a handle on your borders, man. You can't keep doing this, man. This is not okay, man.
I think it's fair to say Europe has done its part and must send a very clear message. We are not going to be able to continue providing refuge and support, because if we don't deal with the migration issue, it will continue to roil the body politic. Kind of interesting, right? I mean, that's exactly what President Trump has been saying. Now Democrats are starting to...
That's what President Trump has been saying. Yeah, we know that's what he's been saying. That's what we've been trying to tell you for weeks now.
On immigration that Hillary and Kerry won't embrace with regard to Europe. So why is it okay for us to talk about the migrant crisis in Europe, but not to talk about the migrant crisis with regard to Mexico? The answer, of course, is because...
Mexico, we need Mexican taco burritos.
They have to yell at President Trump no matter what. Still, members of the left continue to push...
Mexican taco burrito.
Left-leaning version of what immigration policy should be, including, of course, the op-ed page over at the New York Times. There's a piece by a woman named Jessica Crispin over at the New York Times.
Ole, 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 ole.
Here's what she says. Again, this is the New York Times promoting.
Hot, 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 da 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 da. Hot, hot, hot in Tijuana.
Before said he had an important question to ask me. The last important question was, what is your relationship to potato chips? Which he'd asked while gesturing to the many bags of various flavors piled in my pantry. So it wasn't as
in your pantry or in your pants?
And he said with
in your pantry or in your pants? Nice little potato chip in my pants. Yeah, I got it over my area, if you know what I mean.
Then yes.
Area.
4 days later, and immediately again text our friends. Why? Are you sure? I ignored them. Out of the bar. This is obviously a recipe for excellent decision. As I stood on the curb to hail a cab, he ran to the drugstore next door. Just need to get something. He came back.
I need to get something.
Bags of every flavor they had on the shelf.
And every flavor in the shelf.
All of my adult life, I have argued for the abolition of marriage, because marriage is a series of rights unfairly distributed to men and women who have found love, or have deluded themselves into thinking they have found love.
They deluded themselves that they found love over potato chip.
Women's fiction section at the bookstore would have us believe, then why pile on tax breaks, hospital visitation, health insurance, immigration assistance, and all the rest of it? Having a successful love life should not have a determination on whether you live or die. Okay.
Live or die! Die, 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 you puke maggot!
He said, holding my partner's hand at the immigration lawyer's office, I wanted so much to give this to him.
I don't know, man. Does he want it? Does he not want it? I don't know.
Romance started to look like a strategic seduction.
Looks like a strategic seduction, like Disclosure, with Mike Douglas and Demi Moore.
Okay, and this entire article.
Hey, Disclosure.
Basically married the guy so that he
married the guy.
Immigration. A green card, basically.
It's a green card. It's not purple, it's not red, it's not blue. It must be a green card. It's green. It looks green to me. Does it look green to you?
Provide the legitimacy of your love. And she said the file wears on both of us. Pictures we take of each other are both for us and for the government. When I say, what's your niece's name again? I'm asking it to set it in my brain for the eventual quiz, not out of curiosity. Just delightful. Just delightful. So the New York Times promoting essentially immigration fraud at the same time.
Immigration fraud, man.
And why President Trump has an actual opening here in just a second. First, let's talk about how you need to mail a bunch of stuff. Okay, we are coming up.
How you need to mail a bunch of stuff. Do you really have to mail a bunch of stuff? Or you're just going to hit on Ben Shapiro? Because you have this little sick fantasy of Ben. You have a nice little Ben fantasy. Stretched on a bed with pillows over his winky. And you can seductively see his stomach. So you sent him a stamp and a mail saying it'll be over in 10 hours. That's right, I'll be over on a flight from United. Yeah. I'll be on there, United to LAX.
Discounts on postage too, they can't even get at the post office. Stamps.com is
Stamps.com, stamps. I want a stamp on the stamp envelope.
House as well, and right now, you can enjoy the Stamps.com service with a special offer.
With a special offer, you get a big, huge stamp and a bunch of little stamps for a big, huge package and a big, huge postage. Stamp Shapiro.
Right now, Stamps.com, promo code Shapiro. So as I say, President Trump now has a big win on the way here because the left has pushed too hard on the border issue. They keep saying that open borders are fine, that a guy should not be able to protect themselves. Keep yelling at President Trump about why the border basically needs to be left unprotected by the wall. It's a stupid idea. And Trump
Why the wall is a stupid idea? Why is it?
There's a little bit of video of people breaking through to justify his questions.
To justify his questions.
People did exactly that.
They did exactly that.
Downplay this by the media.
To downplay this by the media. It's to be an attempt to back the narrative.
Not objective.
It's an active to not objective.
Politicization.
Politicization.
And there are people who have been trying to cover this objectively.
They're going to cover this objectively.
That's not great.
That's not great. It's not great.
They should be treated as criminals because
they should be treated as criminals. Should be treated as criminals.
Also, sending 15,000 troops to the border not necessary. A lot of
not necessary. Not necessary.
Superfluously for political purposes.
For political purposes.
Illegal immigration is a problem. And that'd be the most objective way to cover this. The media, however, was fully invested in the idea that the migrant caravan not only was a big nothing, but that it was created just for purposes of the election itself. And then once the election was over, Trump forgot about it, except now it's back in the headlines. Why? Because it turns out it was an issue after all. It was an issue after all. Okay, now, speaking of saying the unsayable, as President Trump has been doing on immigration, we gotta talk about Twitter and social media, because what Twitter and social media have been doing over the last week and a half, really, really astonishing. So, over the weekend, there's a guy named Jesse Kelly. Jesse Kelly is a former Marine.
He's a former Marine. He lost his freaking Twitter handle.
He's been given no excuse by Twitter why he was banned. According to the explanation and screenshot provided by Kelly to the Daily Wire, this is a piece by Amanda Prestigiacomo, Twitter violated its own policy by not informing him of the content that apparently earned him the permanent suspension. Kelly claims the only communication he had with Twitter regarding the ban was the following message. Your account was permanently suspended due to multiple or repeat violations of the Twitter rules. The account will not be restored. Please do not respond to this email, as replies and new appeals for this account will not be monitored. So they basically just killed his Twitter account. Ultimately, they just destroyed it. And the fact that Jesse Kelly was banned from Twitter, he'd been talking about this in advance for a long time, that Twitter was cracking down on conservatives. Basically, Jesse Kelly is banned for no reason. Louis Farrakhan still gets to call the Jews termites. So all of this is going really well.
Anti-termites, yes, anti-termites.
I have about 1.8 million followers on Twitter, somewhere in that neighborhood. I expect to be banned any day from Twitter. Why? Because I maintain that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. Twitter has now adopted a policy. I am not kidding you. It's a massive...
That's right. A feminist says that a man's a man, a woman's a woman, and it's even a feminist. And she's banned from Twitter. Oh my God, what are we, America? We need to fight for our country. This is stupid.
Even though they are, in fact, an editorial website. As I've talked about before, they're being treated like a phone line, as though they have no editorial discretion. They're using editorial discretion now in vast ways. And because of that, it seems to me that they should be relieved of their presumption of non-guilt when it comes to violations of copyright law, for example. As I've said before, legally speaking...
They need to be a publisher. Twitter needs to be a publisher. And Jack Dorsey, we need to sit there and get rid of you from Twitter and put someone else in charge, because you are ruining the discourse of America, you piece of garbage. Garbage.
...appears on Twitter. Twitter is not sued for that. Why? Because it's like a phone line, right? They're not discriminating based on content. Except they are discriminating based on content.
They are, so break them as a publisher. Get them as a publisher and make them be held accountable for what they say. Or even better, get the Internet Bill of Rights. Some put it in the Bill of Rights.
Misgendering and dead naming on its platform in an effort to curtail anti-trans abuse. The social media company has changed its rules to ban the practices and has warned that any user who deliberately targets a trans person in these ways may face permanent suspension. These offensive techniques, which involve...
They're so offensive because the transgender is not trans.
...are often used on Twitter to insult and erase trans people's identities and right to exist. This is such propagandistic nonsense. The only way to erase somebody's right to exist is to kill them.
The only way to erase someone's existence is to kill them.
Transgender
kill them.
The idea is that I now have to say that Caitlyn Jenner is a woman. I'm not doing that. And if the idea is that Bradley Manning, right, changed his name legally to Chelsea Manning, my rule about names, by the way, is that I am more than happy to use the name to which you legally change your name, because people can change their names without changing the underlying sex. But I'm not going to grant you in public discourse about the nature of sex. I'm not going to suggest that you're a member of the biological sex to which you do not belong. It's illogical and it's foolish and it destroys boundaries that nature created and that you cannot put asunder simply because you want to. But Twitter now says that if I refer to Chelsea Manning as a man, that they could ban me. If I say Caitlyn Jenner is a man, they could ban me. And if Jesse Kelly says Caitlyn Jenner won a medal as Bruce Jenner, or that Chelsea Manning was convicted as Bradley Manning, then Jesse Kelly could be banned permanently from Twitter. This is what dead naming is. Dead naming is the idea that you are insulting someone by using the...
And they also banned Lowell Loomer. Why don't you talk about Lowell Loomer, Ben? When are you going to talk about Lowell Loomer's ban?
Maybe that was Muhammad Ali's name until he changed it in the middle of his boxing career. In Twitter's updated terms of service, the company now states, quote,
What about Lola Loomer banned? How come you're not talking about Lola Loomer? She got banned too, Ben Shapiro. Come on, Ben Shapiro. When you gonna get to Lola Loomer? Come on.
Because I remember when Louis Farrakhan is still
Lola Loomer got banned because she told the truth. Come on.
400 anti-Semitic slurs in the course of 6 months.
What did Lola Loomer say? That's a lie. How come you're not talking about Lola Loomer?
They say that this includes misgendering or dead naming of transgender individuals. This is absurd in the extreme. Absurd in the extreme. It's anti-scientific in a very real way. Men are men, women are women, and if you're going to argue to me that biological sex no longer exists, you're going to go the same way. You're going to have the same problem the Catholic Church had in the 15th century when they were trying to proclaim to be universally geocentric. And you can't argue with science. Science is still science. We'll get to more of social media crackdowns in just a second. And with all of this,
Yeah, Lola Loomer. Come on, man. Get to Lola Loomer. That bad baby you get to in a second.
Let's talk about how you can feed your dog better. Dog food companies.
How you can feed your dog better.
What kind of beef or carrots connection?
You want to feed him better, make sure you put him right up to the dog bowl, and make sure you put the dog bowl in his mouth for him, and you lift it up the dog bowl right to his mouth, and you say, here dog, here's your food, eat it. Eat it, eat it, eat it, man. It's some dog food for you. We love you, dog. Eat the damn food. I'll put it in your mouth for you. Come on, eat the dog food.
He voraciously gets his paw print of approval. Start feeding your dog better today.
Stop feeding your dog better today. Because we've been feeding him stuff that kills him. Now we're feeding him better. We like our dog now.
It is fantastic. Dog owners have been conditioned.
We don't want to kill our dog anymore. We love our dog.
Instead, you should be getting real fresh food for your dog the same way that you should be feeding yourself real fresh food. The farmer's dog makes
fresh food, fresh food. Yes, it's fresh. It is so fresh. It's Pomo fresh. It's Pomo fresh. It's Pomo dog food. Farmer dog. Oh, farmer dog.
Twitter has decided that they are now going to ban basic science. Basic science. And this has led me to basically say over and over on Twitter yesterday and today, men are men, women are women. Come at me, bro. And if Twitter wants to...
Come at me, bro.
For saying that men are men and women are women, and that biological sex is a thing, and that the term gender is a made-up term by social justice warriors that has no actual social science data to back it. Right? If by gender you mean... So all of transgenderism, all of the transgender civil rights movement is based on deliberate misclassifications of various terms. Okay, so if we're
various terms, yeah, man, various terms.
There are men and there are women. And when people say, well, there are a bunch of sexes in between.
That's right, men are men and women are women.
Okay, those are actual disorders.
Men are from Mars, women are from Venus, and fake transgenders still have a penis. I still have a penis. They're not wearing women yet. They still got their junk in their trunk.
It's so funny to hear all these people love to talk about climate change, pretend there's no such thing as a man and no such thing as a woman. So, there's biological sex. Then there's a term called gender. And this is where the left has decided.
What about Lola Loomer banned? When you get to Lola Loomer, she's been banned too. Why are you not mentioning Lola Loomer? You don't want to stick up for Lola Loomer because you don't like her? She's toxic because she's aggressive, because she gets into faces like Maxine Waters, and confronts Maxine Waters, and confronts Linda Sassour, and confronts Jack Dorsey. You don't want to talk about Lola Loomer? Come on. Come on, Ben Shapiro. You afraid to get into her? She told the truth on Twitter. Now you wanna sit there because she called a fact and a spade. You don't want to defend Lola Loomer. Come on, Ben.
It's a meaningless term. You just want to say every individual on planet Earth is a mix of...
She didn't say anything wrong, Ben Shapiro. Defend Ben. Come on, defend her. Come on, man. It's not good for the Daily Wire brand to be connected to Lola Loomer.
I'm not
blah, 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 blah. That's all, folks. Blah, 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 blah.
Are terms that we have historically used when we were talking about humans. And using intersex to replace transgender is a
Enough about intersex, enough about your sex, enough about your nice little hot sexy body. I'm gonna replace Fabio in the butter commercials. I can't believe I got a nice hot chest. Oh yeah, this butter is great. I rub it on my chest every day. Oh, come on, Ben. What are you doing, Ben? I got a pronoun for you.
I've been asked this repeatedly.
There's a pronoun.
Transgender person. I did a breakfast recently with a transgender person. Do I go out of my way to say pronouns that offend the person? No. Just like I wouldn't go out of my way to offend you if we were at dinner, even if I thought what you were saying was wrong, right? There's no purpose to it. But when I'm talking public policy and how many sexes there are.
How many sexes there are? There's two. There's boy, there's girl, or there's women, or there's men. There's no trans. Sorry if I offended you. Oh, but there's only two sexes. If you were a woman, why did not God make you that? Why did it take a doctor to change your biology from a man to a woman? But you forgot to take out the dingling penis.
He walked into the gym and claimed that he was a transgender woman. He then proceeded to disrobe in front of all the women.
He disrobed and found out he's not a woman. There's a penis underneath those pants. Oh my God. There's a penis. He's got a little penis. Oh.
Religious women. Every one of those religious women is going to now drop.
Put your pants back up. I don't want to see a man's junk in his trunk.
Dude, you're a biological male. You need to dress by yourself in here. You need to consider yourself a woman. Then move the suit out of existence. Hey, this stuff does have consequences, and those consequences, like, are these women sexist for saying they don't want to undress themselves in front of a male, or they would prefer to go to a female locker room where they don't have to see a penis?
Penis, 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 vagina, vagina, vagina. That's right. That's that movie Varsity Blues. Women have penises, men have vagina. Oh, wait a minute, men have vaginas now? No, wait a minute. Women have vaginas and men have penises. I'm sorry, guys got all mixed up, but man, come on. Even a kid, an 8-year-old kid in Arnold Schwarzenegger movies said men have penises and women have vaginas. Even he got it right.
I'm not kidding you. My new vagina won't make me happy, and it shouldn't have to.
My new vagina won't make me happy. Oh.
Get a vagina. Like where? Best Buy?
Best Buy, Best Buy, Best Buy sells vaginas now. Oh my God, vaginas! Yeah. It's a Best Buy. I got a gig squad that's scientifically transformed me from a man to a woman. They're doing a transgender surgery in the gig squad part of Best Buy. It's the computer area. They're rewiring my circuits. And go to Best Buy on Drew Street and 19 in the Clearwater area and get your transgender surgery.
The distress some transgender feel incongruence between the gender they express and the gender they've been socially assigned does little justice to the feeling. But in my experience, at least, dysphoria feels like being unable to get
SJW, Social Justice Warriors. Yeah, I tell you need to change your sex gender.
This is it. You're going to spend the rest of your life on an airplane. It feels like grieving. It feels like having nothing to grieve. This is terrible, obviously. I mean, this is really terrible, difficult stuff. And you can have sympathy for folks like this and still recognize that this person is not a biological woman, will never be a biological woman.
That's right. No, you're not a biological woman. Never will be a biological woman. That's right, Ben. She'll never be a biological woman no more than you'll be a biological woman. God, can you just imagine Ben as a woman? Oh my God, what an ugly thing he would be. Oh, that's right. She's a she. I my mispronouns. I misconnected my pronouns. Justin Trudeau is gonna send a lightning bolt my way. Yeah, Justin Trudeau is gonna come and wring my neck. Justin Trudeau. It's the pronouns. We need to have Justin Trudeau come down here. This is a debate with Justin Trudeau.
That gender dysphoria is a clinical delusion. Hence, feeding of that delusion with hormones and surgeries constitutes a violation of medical ethics.
Surgeries and histories. Yeah.
It says. In this view,
it says in this view, the care they seek, and therapist suicide plan, and a razor.
Once
A
a month,
pediatrician.
prescribe puberty blockers to a
A
gender
puberty blocker. Puberty blocker.
Naturally, a liberal counter-narrative exists, and it has become increasingly mainstream.
Has become increasingly mainstream. Blah, 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 blah.
The article goes on, and then
The article goes on, my friend. And not knowing what it was, I didn't know what gender until I said I was a man. And there's a song that is a transgender and that never ends. I get transgender on, my friend. People change sexes, not knowing what it was. They continue to change the sexes forever just because they didn't know why they were trans. But they changed sexes, my friend. I never knew why. I thought I was the opposite sex until I had a sex change.
I was not suicidal before hormones. Now I often am.
Hormones made me horny
It's not because
moans.
I'm cruising for sympathy, but to prepare you for what I'm telling you now. I still want this, all of it.
I still want this. I want to change sexes. I want to change. I want to have a JJ. I want to have a baby. I want to have a whole bunch of babies and be on my pover to see who's my daddy's baby's daddy. I want to have a bunch of babies' daddies. Yeah, give me a woman. I want to be baby's daddies on the Maury Puppet Show.
First, do no harm. Assumes that health.
Yeah, I did no harm. And there was no harm in the making of my transgendering. There was no harm in me saying transgendering over.
An enormous difference in the lives of trans people, but I also believe that surgery is only
Trans bans, bans, trans bans,
surgery, and then we can
bans for being trans. Oh, is it just your ban if you're making fun of trans?
And is going to be a gaping wound in your body for the rest of your life. This stuff has consequences, but we can't openly discuss it on
This stuff has consequences.
I'm going to get to more of it in just 1 second. First, if all of this makes you want to drink...
Gotta get the more of this. Lower number. Come on, get the lower number. We're gonna hear some lower number banning.
...it up this holiday season, and you're in the middle of a party, and you don't want to run out to the liquor store.
We're in the middle of a party, and I'm getting smashed. And I tried to call Uber or Lyft, and they told me I'm banned from their account, so I can't get a driver to take me home. So I had to drive down the road and... I didn't mean to put drivers at risk. I had to wait home. I was banned from Uber and Lyft. I call for a ride. I'm a right winger. And I've been banned by trans.
Even if you're just an occasional drinker, even if you just want to make sure that you're relevant.
Yep, my number's banned from Uber and Lyft, man. That's true, man. In all seriousness, she's banned. She gets drunk, she has no way of getting home, folks. You're putting a driver and drunk on the road because you banned her. Way to go. Now she'll make it into an accident because of you. From the lower number.
All right, so more on social media's crackdown on science and discussions that we have to have in public and that must be had. But first, you're going to have to go over to Daily
First, you have to go to the Daily Wire, subscribe, and get the Michael No Show, which is the only reason you subscribe, and the Andy Craven Show. Ben Shapiro is just, but I still want his show to be available, even if he's putz sometimes, yeah. And the rest of the crappy Ben Shapiro Show live, I don't want him even banned, yeah.
Episode 8, titled The Darkest Hour.
The darkest hour is when I'm with Ben Shapiro and he's having a meltdown.
So what are you waiting for? You could be getting an early.
And Ben thinks the world is coming to an end. That's the darkest hour. Boom, 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 boom. I'm a lawyer. Boom, 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 boom.
Of this show. Are you kidding me? I'm not. I'm gonna be here doing it every day.
I'm gonna be here doing it every day in my underwear, my nice new underwear I buy every day. My sponsor buys me underwears.
The very greatest in beverage vessels.
The very best vessels and the leftist tears tumbler. You got so many leftist tears in there, it's overflowing. How many leftist tears you got, Ben? Or are you filling it more with Never Trump tears from the Trump supporters?
Want to avoid all disease. If you want to be healthy,
you want to avoid this Never Trump disease. Don't drink from the leftist tears of Ben Shapiro. Get the Michael knows tumbler. Yeah.
It's been said, not FDA approved. It's been said. So go check it out right now. You get all those things for $99 a year, which is cheaper.
$99. That's right, $99.99. Just like the WWE Network. So the WWE Network's more entertaining than your stupid, crappy show. But I do this because so no one else has
Down
to.
on all expressions of science with regard to sex. Twitter is refusing to allow any sort of conversations about the nature of gender dysphoria, when gender surgery, sex reassignment. Sex cannot be reassigned, by the way, because it was never assigned in the first place. To be reassigned, sex would have to be assigned. It was not.
It had to be assigned. Oh, yeah.
I was assigned to my foot, and cutting off my foot would be reassigning my foot. That's not how this works. Just because
That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
Reassigned. This whole thing is really absurd. The language of it is absurd.
Yeah.
They're not going to enforce it.
Not today, Benny. Not today, Benny. Got 500 calls ahead of us, Benny.
By shutting down necessary public policy conversations on the basis that is offensive to someone. And this is feelings over fact. And let's be real about this. If Twitter believes that it is now the job of Twitter to prevent social conversations on important public topics because some people may take it the wrong way.
Some people may have hurt feelings.
Everybody except for Jack, who apparently has all the right views. Jack Dorsey, the head of Twitter. It's not just Twitter, by the way. There's a report that got very, very little attention when it was reported in the Wall Street Journal a little bit earlier this year. It's amazing that this didn't get more attention. The Wall Street Journal reported 2 weeks ago that Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg pressured a top executive at his company to apologize for his support of President Trump in the 2016 election, and then issue a letter just before the election explaining that he had switched his support to Libertarian Gary Johnson. According to reporters Kirsten Grind and Keith Hagee, Oculus founder Palmer Luckey says he was put on leave and then fired for his support for Trump. The Journal reported, quote, in the fall of 2016, as unhappiness over the donation simmered, Facebook executives, including Mr. Zuckerberg, pressured Mr. Luckey to publicly voice support for Libertarian candidate Gary Johnson, despite Mr. Luckey's years-long support of Mr. Trump, according to people familiar with the conversations and internal emails viewed by the Wall Street Journal. Luckey ended up negotiating a $100 million settlement, an acceleration of stock awards and bonuses he would have received. Thanks to the sale of Oculus VR to Facebook in 2014, Facebook denied he was fired for his political views, but Luckey was a supporter of President Trump for years, going back to 2011, when he urged Trump to run for president by mail. In September 2016, the Daily Beast reported Luckey had given a $10,000 donation to Nimble America, which was an anti-Hillary ad group focused on trolling her. Luckey then apparently posted on a Reddit chain under a pseudonym regarding Clinton. He posted, Hillary Clinton is corrupt, a warmonger, a freedom stripper. Not the good kind you see dancing in bikinis on Independence Day. The bad kind who strips freedom from
Is there any kind of good stripping from Hillary?
Facebook employees
That'll
complained about
blind
Luckey,
you.
with engineering director
Hillary's blinding when you look at her.
Narayanan writing, quote, multiple women have literally teared up in front of me in the last few days. Some developers said they wouldn't work with Luckey. Luckey denied he posted about Clinton under a pseudonym. He added he was a libertarian who voted for Gary Johnson. Here is what the Journal report said. I need to tell you that Zuckerberg himself drafted this, and details are critical, said Facebook Deputy General Counsel Paul Grewal. He wrote to a lawyer for Luckey in a September 2016 email attaching an early draft of the statement. The draft said Luckey would not be supporting Trump in the election. Luckey told people he did vote for Mr. Johnson, but only to avoid having his credibility questioned if he was asked about the issue under oath in unrelated litigation. The apology went through many drafts. Luckey ultimately approved changes suggested by Facebook, according to people familiar with the process. Amazing stuff. So Facebook basically took out a guy for $100 million after trying to force him to say that he didn't vote for Trump and voted instead for Gary Johnson. These social media companies do not appreciate basic political views from anywhere to the right of center. Anywhere. And it's gradually moving from the fringes. So there are a bunch of conservatives who you see, pseudo-conservatives and conservatives on Twitter and on Facebook, and they're like, well, if they ban this guy, if they ban Alex Jones or Laura Loomer or people who we find unpalatable, well, the alligator will eat us last. Right, the alligator will eat you last, and then it'll eat you. I despise Alex Jones. I think that Laura Loomer is a crackpot. That doesn't matter. And the fact is that once you start banning people for a political viewpoint that is non-violent in orientation and is non-slanderous and non-legally actionable,
we know you wouldn't like Laura Loomer, but she's trying to work for the people and hard to get questions. Whether you like what she's doing, whether you think she's crazy or not, she's out doing this story trying to get answers. She's aggressive. Sorry, you're passive-aggressive, Ben. She just makes no bones about what she's saying. You want to tag Laura Loomer? Shame on you, Ben Shapiro. She's sitting there more of an activist than you are. You're sitting behind your little desk. Oh, you go and you speak at a freaking college. But you have no guts. Yes, because you have security, all the money you pay for. Because you don't want to deal with Antifa. No, because you'll get your ass beat, Ben. Come on, Laura Loomer is a woman that's fighting for people, man. Shut your mouth, Ben. I don't like Laura Loomer. Well, who likes you, Ben? You never Trumper, never Trumper, never Trump, never Trump. Take a dump on Ben.
Then they fired him. So they put out a statement and said, "We wanted to give you an update on Tim Miller. We invited Tim to contribute to crooked
Tim Miller.
public stand against Trump when most."
Guess it ain't Miller time for him.
That took courage.
It's fire time.
Republicans who declared themselves to be never Trumpers during the campaign. He's still one today. In other words, him yelling at Trump all the time. That's why we hired him. Tim is an insightful voice about what is broken in the Republican Party. He has repeatedly denounced racism and bigotry from Trump and other Republican politicians. But when we read the New York Times story about Facebook's campaign to discredit its critics, we were surprised and angry about the role that Definers Public Affairs, the firm Tim sometimes partners with, played in that effort. So Tim Miller, gone. The strange new respect the left feels for some people on the right lasts only so long as they believe that those people are tools of the left. The minute that those people suddenly become not tools of the left, then they have to be dumped on the side of the road as soon as possible. Okay, in other news, things getting very, very dangerous over in Ukraine. According to the Kiev Post, at an emergency meeting late on the night of November
Bye, Ben Shapiro, you sellout. I don't like Laura Loomer. I don't like Laura Loomer. Well, I don't give a damn. I'm
the
done.
Russian Coast Guard in the neutral waters of the Azov Sea on November 25th. President Petro Poroshenko said he would appeal to the Ukrainian parliament on November 26th to approve his declaration of martial law, which could lead to widespread compulsory military service, restrictions.
Ben Shapiro, what a piece of garbage. I don't like Laura Loomer. I don't like Laura Loomer because she's trying to aggressively get the news.
Coast Guard boats opened fire on 3 Ukrainian boats in the Azov Sea on the
You think Laura Loomer is a crackpot?
after Russian officials announced.
Oh, you just smoke pot, Ben.
The Kerch Strait, the strait connecting the Black Sea and the Azov Sea.
Loomer's trying to be aggressive, so I don't like aggressive. No one cares what you think. You don't have to like everybody.
Boats sustained damage and were mobilized. The Ukrainian tugboat had been rammed by a Russian Coast Guard ship.
Screw you, Ben Shapiro. Screw you, Betty.
Russian special ops.
Russian.
An act of war, and